Hey, you know how when we go stir crazy by not getting to kind of scratch our hobby itch, we make lists.
Yo. Yeah.
And we kind of like theory craft a lot, roll dice at a table and pretend like that's actual interactions happening.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out a lot of people like to be giant assholes. And that's how they... See, it's for the YouTube thing. I decided to wait until it was after 30 seconds from the intro to use the A word. Yeah, it's clever. But yeah, there's been a lot of assholes going about right now.
Dude, there's been some gaping, dripping assholes
it's
coming
been
out of the
pretty
competitive
bad.
40k community.
And from all over, too. So there's been things like the very factually correct, but inflammatory. The Necron Codex is the worst 9th edition codex ever.
Like, okay.
Which, before you start, factually correct.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because there's only been 2 9th edition codexes.
Yeah, I know.
And the Space Marine is a hair better.
I mean, that's how I feel right now, to be totally honest. Like, it's just, like... I don't, so like, I have been reading Necron groups, but I haven't been commenting unless I'm saying something like, you're a baby, or shut up, or like, try playing some games, or as a reviewer, I find this to be factually inaccurate. Like, all those things are things that I've said.
Yeah. I like how you big dicked it by being like, as a reviewer.
Well, he said that the reviewers are being, like, overly generous with the Necron Codex.
I don't think we were, though.
No, I think it's fine. It's good.
I think the best thing I read on the Necron Codex was it's a continual evolution of the army based on the background story. And it really makes sense of like the way it's playing is showing that kind of evolution. And the fact now is, and especially I think Space Marine showed this as well, like playing a Space Marine army with a 9th edition book is different than playing the 8th edition book. Like completely.
By a lot.
By a lot.
I mean, I know my lists have changed quite a bit.
Right. And I know that, like, you know, lol, all eradicators, like, and yeah, we're just going to do this and this and this. But still, like, it's different than what it was before. A lot of the things that you fall back on are gone. A lot of the old, like, combos are gone. And yeah, there's just new ones.
Sure.
And the other thing people were pointing out and kind of complaining about was how come Space Marines have, like, 4 times as many core choices as Necrons do? On which I use my very supportive big boy voice, and I was just like, who would imagine that the army consisting of highly trained and genetically modified super soldiers who drill and practice every day would be better... As brothers, would be, like, better disciplined and would listen to people more than a bunch of rusting robots from, like, 10 millennia ago.
More than that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the particularly rusty ones were 10 millennia because of a leak. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
My own personal headcanon
I get you.
To justify my joke.
I see.
But yeah, the books aren't bad. They're just very different.
They are. And the Necron book, like, as I said in a post, like, this week, you know, like, the previous book had one build that was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like, and it was pretty good. It wasn't great. It was only good. It was never, like, amazing. Because it was so random. Because of Doomsday Arcs and Knights and Doom Scythes, like, having stupid random shots all the time. And, like, the Doomsday Arc didn't get any better. In fact, it got worse. I don't know. Maybe it's slightly better. It's, like, at least... It's probably a pretty lateral change for it. And the Doom Scythe got a lot better. But the Doomsday Arc definitely stayed the same. But, like, now, instead of that one build that was okay... Now you have 4 builds that are at least that are all good.
Right. And this is just what we're seeing right now from not playing very much. And them not being used as you have a breadth of options where like your old option doesn't work anymore necessarily.
Right.
But you need to look past that and realize it's an entirely new army and how it plays and the units that it has.
Right. And, you know, okay, so it is a new army, but it's not a new army because like a lot of the stats stayed pretty the same. Mm-hmm. Like they just got a lot of new units. So... I don't know is that it's fair to like be dismissive of people who have been in the trenches playing Necrons like for years.
Yeah.
And like kind of saying, "Oh, well, you know, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You know, I'll go with the word of Richard Siegler, King of Necrons."
Yeah, famed Tau Iron Hand player.
Right. Also King of Necron.
Also King of Necron.
He's a great player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, obviously. Like, he's much better than I am. And, like, but, like, I don't know that he has, like, an in-depth knowledge of everything. And there's some people on the internet that are, like, very pro, like, that Siegler view.
I think, and this is just such a free form but great segment right now, by the way. It kind of goes into the fact that when you have, and God, I hate this term, but 40k celebrities.
Sure.
Like, their word becomes law, right?
And it shapes the meta.
And it shapes the meta, and it shapes a lot of what people talk about. So when people come out and say, hey, this doesn't work, this isn't great, people listen. And people will take that as kind of the gospel truth.
And I think that there are a lot of builds that are still very good other than just, like, the pure canoptic build. I do think that the protocols are worth it, and they are not garbage. I think that there's plenty of good play to be had out of those. And it's worth it to play the same, like, your army all as one faction instead of splitting stuff up. And that's kind of what the Necron Codex kind of convinces you to do. Like, Marines did it very... I'm trying to think of the word.
Shittily.
Well, no, I mean, so with the super doctrines, right?
Right.
It was, like, I don't want to say heavy-handed, right? But, like, it's kind of, like, very obvious. Like, right. Oh yeah, you should play the same faction unless you don't care about that benefit. Like, you should definitely play all White Scars or all Dark Angels or all Blood Angels.
Because the Super Doctrines were so good.
They're very good. They're very good.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, I think that there's a lot of play in that book. I think people are being way too negative about that book. And then I think that they're even being even more negative towards the Space Marine book. Which, like, again, I don't get... Like, there are things that are very good in the Space Marine book, and there are things that are probably broken. Like, Plasma Inceptors are probably broken with Blast. Like, them getting Blast is such a stupid thing. They should not have that. And then... but
there's, like, hundreds of other little changes. Like, all the pulsars losing fly.
Oh, huge.
All the pulsars not having -2 to charge naturally. Huge. And a lot of the... war gear becoming stratagems and stratagems becoming war gear.
Right.
We're just really going to have to up. And we were hearing rumors of this in, like, January, February, when the rumblings of, like, 9th edition first started coming. You would have to be great at the game, you would have to focus on one faction to really master it. And we're seeing with these two books that they're so dense.
They're very deep, yeah.
Like, when we were recording them, like, usually our reviews, like, where we're going through the book, take about, like, an hour or so for the entire book. Each of these ones, like the Marine and the Necron one, took over 2 hours for each of them. And that's just because of the density of information and kind of the breadth of the changes and options that are in both of those books there. It'd be sad when the Death Guard one's like 45 minutes.
No, dude, that's going to be another super long review.
They're going to add the Lord of Virulence, remove everything else.
That's just Codex Lord of Virulence.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we do have opinions, but they're quite all... anecdotal gate. Brandbot, I know. So, anecdotal. There was, again, going back to the thing of us having nothing to do 40k wise, game wise, which would usually detract all of its energy away. On Comp40k last week, like, friend of half the show, Falcon, came and said that, like, going first was statistically a better option, and I think 60% or 60% of games, if you go first, you win. Yeah. Was it right?
I think that's roughly correct. I think this was on an ITC Judges...
or it's on an ITC Judges page or something like that there. But it was based off of a collection of data from around 6,000 games. Culled from the ITC Battles app. So yeah, it's free, but you're the product. So yeah, they're culling your data from that. Which the return came that because Mike Brandt had played 6 games and it was fine.
Yeah, he won all of his games going second.
Yeah.
Against really good players.
Right.
But still.
Which was like a little dismissive, but I think, again, the bored internet community latched onto that so hard.
Oh man, did they love that.
The word anecdotal now makes me and Danny laugh. I've added my little anecdotal sound effect on the soundboard. It's great, and like I can see almost why, right? I mean, like the phrasing was meant to come across in a reassuring way, that like to kind of stop any kind of panic from the player base, where it was like, hey, we don't want everyone to be like thing, because there is like obviously variables between missions.
Sure.
There's variables between different armies choosing.
There's various variables between player skill, which is a big deal, and player familiarity with 9th edition in itself.
Right.
Like,
and so there's all of this here, and I think it was just trying to stop the narrative coming out that if you go first, you win, which was what was starting to happen.
Okay.
So I totally get where it was coming from, just the message of like, oh, and especially someone like Falcon, who is so lauded by the community as being like this figurehead of knowledge and stats. There was better ways to approach it than just dismissing everything.
Sure.
Because that bird spends a lot of time.
Oh man, a lot of unpaid time.
A lot of unpaid time, like gathering this information, and he has, according to Goonhammer, a proprietary stat system. Which was
Is
like
that true?
That's what they put in their article. That he uses a proprietary status system.
I'm pretty sure it's Power BI.
Yeah. It's just games played divided by games won equals win percentage. I just see like Falcon walking along to people's like Excel spreadsheets and just putting a big C, like copyright, or a big TM on there and be like, this is mine now. That's good. But I don't think it would have been as major a deal. It was.
He's going to write an F with a circle around it for Falcon. It's been Falcon.
But I don't think it would have been as major a deal if it wasn't for the fact that we've been cooped up for 7 months.
Oh my god, yeah. And then we're like making memes about it.
So many memes.
Oh, there's so many good memes.
So they were really good, and they all come from a place of love.
For sure.
But what do I know?
We love this game a lot. We all do. We're very passionate about it.
And there's a lot of passion coming out. And again, we've had people call the Necron Codex the worst, and just lots of people.
And on the flip side of that, we have people looking at these Dark Angel rules.
Oh, yeah, that's originally what I wanted to talk about. That's for sure. Hey, Danny, did you know Deathwing are going to destroy the game forever?
Oh, I do now.
I mean, I think the great thing about this, and what we're talking about, is the changes with Storm Shields and some other keywords. Where I think, what's the combo now, Danny, with these guys?
Well, okay, so first of all, this combo has existed since 8th edition when the Dark Angels, when Ritual of the Damned came out.
False. Just ignore that previous information.
All right.
Truth isn't sexy in 40k MZ.
All right, so the way that the boost that this particular thing got was, okay, so Dark Angels have a stratagem where if you can deep strike or teleport strike a Terminator unit within 6 inches of a within, I think it's 6, maybe it's 3, of a Raven Wing unit, and they have to be 6 inches away from the enemy. So you get a pretty short charge, right?
Right.
Now, the Biker Chaplain, if he's taken in a Dark Angels list, gets the Ravenwing keyword. So he now is a Ravenwing biker, so that he can now qualify for that. He can also put up the plus 2 inches to charge aura.
So it's a 4-inch charge.
So it's a 4-inch charge out of Deep Strike. But I mean, I was using this in 8th edition with the Dark Angels list. Like, I use this. It's good. It's very good.
And now with the changes to Storm Shields on top of that as well, it's kind of where it starts getting kind of crazy.
Well, so it's not the Storm Shield. It's the Inner Circle rule that Deathwing all got. So first of all, people are saying like, oh, well, you can make a Dark Angel successor. They're going to get all this stuff. Well, sure, they will. But they won't get Inner Circle because you have to have the Dark Angels chapter tactic in order to count for Inner Circle. Mm-hmm. You either have to take that or you have to be a successor chapter with Inheritors of the Primarch. So you can't get another +1 to charge. You can't get like Whirlwind of Whirlwind of Rage, so you get like 6s proc an extra hit, that kind of stuff. You can't do that. But you can put 10 Deathwing Knights into a squad like pretty easily. And since they are Inner Circle, all the things with the Inner Circle keyword, which is like all the Deathwing specific Terminators in the Dark Angel supplement and all of the special characters mostly, because they have to be infantry and have the Inner Circle keyword, they get transhuman physiology like all the time without having to spend any command points.
So now they're a 1+ save.
Yep.
4+ invulnerable save.
Correct. 3 wounds.
3
wounds. Yeah.
You can't wound them unless it's a 4+.
Right. They also, like the Deathwing Knights, also got +1 weapon skill. So their weapon skill 2+. So, and they have no -to hit Thunderhammers. That's their weapon.
They're the flail things, right?
Well, they have the Maces of Absolution, and then the champion has the flail, which is strength plus 2, -3, 2 damage. I think it's the same as the Death Guard flail.
But way worse because it's Dark Angels.
Agree to disagree.
I think this was the unit and kind of the discussion of this that kind of drove me over the edge where I actually no, lashed out is the wrong word 'cause I never really do that. But I was just like, okay, these guys are here. It's not changing. Instead of just spending hours bitching about the fact that they're here, how do you beat it?
Right.
What do you do?
And I think there's plenty of things that you can do to beat it. Yeah, like your plasma guns are going to be a lot less efficient. But I'll tell you what isn't any less efficient, pretty much. Stalker Bolters. Mm-hmm. They're still really good against this unit. Because remember, their invulnerable save did go down by 1. Even though their armor save went up, as long as you're hitting them with AP -3, because that'll be 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if you're hitting with AP -3, they're going to their invulnerable save anyway. And so, yeah, you might be winning on 4s. Okay, so be it.
Yeah, who cares?
It's just, you got to pump them full of shots, and they're going to be harder to take down. So, yeah, is that unit going to wreck a lot of armies? Yeah, if you don't screen well, is it going to ruin your day? Probably. But, you should probably learn how to play better.
That's fair. Harsh, but fair.
I mean, yeah, you gotta...
And that's free coaching from Danny, and usually he charges for the get good talk.
Yeah, that's at least $95.
And you just get $96.50, just undercut just slightly. What do we have any other drama? I think that was it. It was a very drama-filled week.
God, it was so bitchy. The internet sucks, man. Our community, I like a lot of parts about it, but there is a very vocal minority, I would say, who are just assholes and want to just complain about everything. And for the people that want to complain about everything,
you've mastered the art of the Stanley. You've downloaded the ITC Battles app. You've loaded your dice to guarantee your charge. Now perfect your game with Mob Rules measuring accessories. Made of the finest acrylic and carrying the skill of the Danny, the tactics of the Dave, and something positive about John. Get yours now at hammerheadgames.net.